The INFJ personality type is often viewed as a deeply empathetic and idealistic individual who is guided by intuition and a strong sense of purpose. While every INFJ shares these core traits, there's a subtype that emerges under specific life circumstances, the Sigma INFJ. Unlike the INFJ, who is naturally attuned to people and their emotions, the Sigma INFJ evolves from a more challenging life journey, one where independence, self-sufficiency, and resilience take center stage. This distinction is crucial in understanding the difference between being born with certain personality traits and being shaped by experience into something more unique and complex. INFJs are born with inherent qualities like empathy, intuition, and a strong desire to connect on a deep level with others. From a young age, INFJs are attuned to the emotional needs of others and are quick to offer support. Their ability to read people and understand unspoken emotions is almost instinctual. However, this natural empathy can sometimes lead them to feel overwhelmed by the emotions of others, causing them to seek solitude to recharge. At the core of the INFJ personality lies a deep desire for harmony and balance in relationships and environments. INFJs are natural peacekeepers who thrive in situations where emotions are stable, and they often go out of their way to avoid conflict. This need for harmony influences many of their decisions, particularly when it comes to relationships. The Sigma INFJ, unlike the traditional INFJ, does not prioritize harmony with others over their own emotional health. Instead, they prioritize independence and self-sufficiency. This transformation happens when an INFJ realizes that constantly seeking harmony often leads to emotional exhaustion and, in some cases, manipulation by others. They begin to focus more on internal peace than external harmony. While the traditional INFJ tends to engage deeply with others to maintain balance, the Sigma INFJ chooses to disengage when necessary. Instead, they cultivate an inner sense of harmony, knowing that their peace is more important than constantly maintaining external balance. Where the INFJ may have once felt responsible for the emotional well-being of others, the Sigma INFJ understands that their first duty is to themselves. In relationships, the INFJ may struggle to say no or express their true feelings out of fear of upsetting others, while the Sigma INFJ is more willing to stand their ground. The Sigma INFJ has learned through experience that true harmony doesn't come from always avoiding conflict, it comes from being authentic and maintaining personal integrity, even if it means walking away from relationships or situations that no longer serve them. The Sigma INFJ no longer depends on external validation or approval to feel at peace. This independence doesn't mean they don't care for others or value relationships, it simply means they've learned that sacrificing themselves for the sake of harmony is no longer an option. The Sigma INFJ isn't simply born this way, they are made through life's trials. When an INFJ faces betrayal, rejection, or continuous disappointment in relationships, they begin to rely more on themselves than on others. Over time, this transforms their approach to life. Where once they may have sought validation and connection, they now seek independence and a sense of inner peace. The Sigma INFJ still retains the empathetic nature of the INFJ but combines it with a sense of emotional detachment, allowing them to engage with the world on their own terms. One of the key differences between an INFJ and a Sigma INFJ is their ability to master emotional boundaries. INFJs, known for their deep empathy, often struggle with setting clear emotional boundaries. This realization is a critical step toward the transformation into a Sigma INFJ, who excels at managing emotional energy and protecting their mental well-being. The Sigma INFJ has learned that while empathy is a gift, it should not be given without limits. They understand that their emotional energy is finite, and they must protect it to maintain their mental and emotional health. This shift in mindset empowers the Sigma INFJ to create boundaries that preserve their energy, enabling them to engage in relationships on their own terms, rather than feeling compelled to be constantly available. For a Sigma INFJ, mastering emotional boundaries involves being highly selective about who they allow into their inner circle. They have become adept at recognizing toxic or emotionally draining people, and they are not afraid to distance themselves from relationships that deplete them. The Sigma INFJ, in essence, learns to balance their idealism with a realistic understanding of the world, allowing them to live with purpose, authenticity, and resilience. The Sigma INFJ is incredibly selective about who they let into their inner circle. While traditional INFJs may feel a strong desire to maintain social connections and build relationships, Sigma INFJs are more guarded. They prefer quality over quantity when it comes to friendships and relationships, often keeping a small, tight-knit group of people they trust. To the Sigma INFJ, solitude isn't loneliness, it's a form of self-preservation and a way to protect their energy. Sigma INFJs are often perceived as mysterious or hard to read. They don't wear their emotions on their sleeve like a typical INFJ might. This adds to their allure, as they often come across as deeply thoughtful and introspective individuals who are hard to fully understand. INFJs may seek external validation or approval, especially when they are younger. However, a Sigma INFJ develops a strong sense of self and no longer requires the approval of others to feel validated. They become their own source of confidence and validation, trusting their instincts and personal judgment over the opinions of others. Sigma INFJs are often drawn to unconventional paths in life. They don't follow societal norms or expectations if they don't align with their personal values. Whether it's in their career, relationships, or lifestyle choices, Sigma INFJs forge their own path, often leading them to take the road less traveled. This may mean pursuing a creative career, choosing not to follow traditional relationship dynamics, or living a minimalist lifestyle. As INFJs evolve into Sigma INFJs, their approach to relationships undergoes a significant transformation. Over time, this pattern often leads to frustration, disappointment, and feelings of being unappreciated. Another important aspect of the Sigma INFJ's new approach to relationships is their focus on emotional independence. Instead, they cultivate emotional resilience and self-sufficiency, ensuring that they are not dependent on their partner's approval or attention to feel secure in the relationship. This emotional independence allows Sigma INFJs to approach their relationships from a place of strength rather than neediness, creating a healthier dynamic where both partners are free to grow as individuals. In the past, INFJs may have struggled with the fear of being misunderstood or rejected, leading them to suppress certain aspects of their personality or compromise their values to keep the peace. This fear can make them overly accommodating, often at the expense of their own emotional needs. However, as Sigma INFJs, they embrace their authenticity and are no longer afraid to show their true selves in relationships. They understand that vulnerability is essential for building deep, meaningful connections, but they also recognize the importance of maintaining their own integrity. Sigma INFJs are unafraid to walk away from relationships that do not align with their values or support their personal growth. This new approach to relationships also involves a shift in how Sigma INFJs view their role within the partnership. In the past, they may have felt responsible for their partner's happiness, taking on the emotional weight of the relationship and constantly trying to fix or save their partner from their own struggles. This tendency can lead to codependent dynamics, where the INFJ becomes the emotional caretaker, and their partner becomes overly reliant on their support. However, as Sigma INFJs, they recognize that each person in the relationship is responsible for their own emotional well-being. They are no longer willing to take on the role of caretaker or savior, instead focusing on creating a partnership where both individuals support each other's growth without losing themselves in the process. In their earlier phase, INFJs may have been drawn to partners who seem to need their help or emotional support, often attracting individuals with unresolved emotional issues or narcissistic tendencies. These relationships can become toxic, as the INFJ becomes overly invested in trying to heal their partner, while their own emotional needs are neglected. Sigma INFJs, however, have learned to recognize these unhealthy patterns and are more selective about the people they allow into their lives. They seek partners who are emotionally mature, self-aware, and capable of giving as much as they receive. In relationships, Sigma INFJs also prioritize open, honest communication. While INFJs are naturally empathetic and intuitive, they sometimes struggle with expressing their own needs and emotions directly, fearing conflict or rejection. Instead of sacrificing themselves to maintain a relationship, Sigma INFJs create partnerships that are built on mutual respect, authenticity, and emotional balance. They prioritize authenticity, open communication, and mutual respect, ensuring that their relationships are healthy, supportive, and aligned with their personal values. This makes them less dependent on others for emotional support, which can sometimes be perceived as cold or detached by those who don't understand them. This balanced approach is not only crucial for their emotional well-being but also for fostering personal growth, resilience, and healthy connections with others. They become more forgiving of themselves and others, understanding that mistakes and setbacks are part of the human experience. Another element of balance comes in the way Sigma INFJs manage their emotions. INFJs are known for their emotional depth and sensitivity, which can sometimes lead to overwhelming feelings or emotional overload. In their earlier phase, they may have struggled to manage these intense emotions, often bottling them up or becoming emotionally drained by their environment or relationships. Sigma INFJs, however, learn the importance of emotional regulation and boundaries. They no longer allow their emotions to dictate their actions or overwhelm their sense of stability. Instead, they develop healthy coping mechanisms, such as mindfulness, self-reflection, and setting emotional boundaries, to navigate their feelings with greater control and awareness. This balanced emotional approach also extends to relationships. INFJs often have a tendency to overinvest in others, putting their partners' or friends' needs ahead of their own. This self-sacrificing behavior can lead to imbalances in their relationships, where they give far more than they receive. Sigma INFJs, on the other hand, learn to maintain a healthy sense of self within their relationships. They set clear boundaries, ensuring that they are not sacrificing their own well-being for the sake of others. By doing so, they create more balanced, reciprocal relationships where both partners contribute equally to the emotional and relational dynamic. Another important aspect of this balance is the way Sigma INFJs approach their sense of purpose. Traditional INFJs are often driven by a strong sense of mission or destiny, feeling called to make a difference in the world or to live a life aligned with their values. While this can be incredibly fulfilling, it can also lead to a sense of pressure or burden, where they feel like they are constantly falling short of their purpose. Sigma INFJs, however, take a more grounded approach to their sense of purpose. They still seek meaning and fulfillment, but they recognize that their purpose is not defined by grand achievements or external validation. Instead, they focus on living authentically, making small, meaningful contributions, and finding joy in the present moment. A balanced approach also involves understanding the importance of self-care and rest. Traditional INFJs can be prone to overworking, overthinking, or becoming emotionally drained by their desire to help others or achieve their goals. Sigma INFJs, however, recognize that they must take care of themselves in order to be effective in their relationships and pursuits. They prioritize self-care, whether through physical rest, mental relaxation, or emotional self-compassion. This allows them to maintain their energy and focus, preventing the burnout that so many INFJs experience when they neglect their own needs. Finally, a balanced approach to life means embracing both solitude and connection. INFJs often oscillate between intense social engagement and periods of withdrawal, needing time alone to recharge from the emotional demands of interacting with others. Sigma INFJs, however, find a more sustainable balance between these two extremes. They understand that while they need solitude to reflect and recharge, they also benefit from meaningful connections with others. Instead of withdrawing completely, they learn to manage their energy by being selective about the people they spend time with and the situations they engage in. This allows them to maintain a healthy balance between their need for introspection and their desire for connection. In summary, the Sigma INFJ's balanced approach to life is one of their greatest strengths. By embracing imperfection, managing their emotions, setting boundaries in relationships, and prioritizing self-care, Sigma INFJs are able to live a life that is both fulfilling and sustainable. They are no longer driven by the need to be perfect or to meet unrealistic expectations, but instead focus on living authentically, growing as individuals, and maintaining a sense of inner peace and stability. This balance allows them to harness their natural gifts, empathy, insight, and idealism, without losing themselves in the process. Ultimately, the Sigma INFJ's balanced approach to life enables them to thrive, both in their personal relationships and in their pursuit of purpose. While every INFJ is born with a unique set of traits, the Sigma INFJ is made through life experiences that shape their approach to the world. Through emotional resilience, independence, and self-sufficiency, the Sigma INFJ learns to balance their empathy with the need for personal boundaries. This transformation creates a rare personality type that is both deeply intuitive and fiercely independent. If you're an INFJ on the path to becoming a Sigma INFJ, embrace your journey. It's one of growth, strength, and true self-discovery.